said, I'm not going to focus on the whole act, but I'll focus for you guys on the extras. And these are the extras for the Skills Development Act. Remember the functions and the roles of SETAs? Guys, they're basically in every paper. So go through this, go check it again, make sure that you know it. Know at least 4 functions of SETAs. The main thing that you guys tend to forget is that SETAs do not do the training. SETAs are almost like the Department of Education. So the Department of Education doesn't teach or train you. They send me, the educator, the work, and I train you. So SETAs basically are there to look at what training is needed, what is required, and then they develop the training reports, the training material, the development they develop the facilitators, etc. So let's have a look at a few of these. They report to the Director General. The Director General is the person who's in charge of the labor department of our country. They promote and establish learnerships, so they see which jobs can be turned into a practical as well as theoretical type of study. They collect levies from all of the businesses, the skills development levy, and then they pay out these levies to the different SETAs, to the different workspaces as well, to make sure that training happens. They look at skills development facilitators, they check them out, they accredit them so that they are sure that the training that is being given out is actually the correct. They register learnership agreements. They also go and check the workplaces. Do they have a skills development plan, and how are they doing that? In other words, they check the annual training reports. Then they also evaluate and they monitor the training that is done. So I cannot just go and teach if I'm one of these facilitators, whatever I want to teach. I have to be in line with what SETAs tell me. They also make sure that training happens in all of the sectors of South Africa's economy. A few other things, I'm not going to go through it all. They draw up skills development plans for the specific economic sectors. So they do not do training. They develop the training material, the training programs, the annual teaching plans if you want, and they obviously check which jobs are suitable for both workplace as well as practical work experience. Look at funding of SETAs. Where do they get their money from? Guys, the biggest amount of their money come from the skills development levies. Your businesses pay these levies, but they only pay if they have wages and salaries that exceeds 500,000 Rand for the year. Then on that the wages and salaries for the year, businesses pay 1%. But SETAs can also get money from grants and donations, or they get money from the government, but some SETAs also deliver services, so they generate their own income as well. Learnerships, what is a learnership? A learnership is basically a qualification that you can obtain by doing theoretical book, study guides, textbooks, and practical training where you actually go and do the work. Dot 2 says it's a structured learning program. When I look at this, they literally take you certain blocks or certain terms where you go to a training center and others where you are at the workplace. And then there are certain jobs that needs to be done. You can have a look at the rest of them, but like I said, they are learning material as well as practical work. And if asked to give the definition, that is what I want to see. Then lastly, this came across in last year's prelim paper. I think it came across for either 8 or 10 marks. And it is, what is the difference between the NSDS and the HRDS? Now guys, the big thing is if you look at the HRDS, HRDS stands for workers. So the HRDS is all about supplying skills and getting workers that can actually work and contribute towards our economy, whereas the NSDA's National Skills Development is just making sure that all the people have access to training. So every person, whether you are 3-year-old or 3 years old or 83 years old, you can get guidance, training, and that is where we find those orbit training centers, etc., to make sure that people have a quality of life because they can read and write and do basic maths. Whereas HRDS is all about focusing on the workforce, alleviating poverty because people have a job, making sure that the skills of our country is improved, and remember lifelong learning so that people will continuously upgrade their skills as well. Hopefully this will help you. Remember, if they ask you the differences, put it in a table. So remember what is on the left, study that which is on the right. And if you know two NSDS that matches with two HRDS, that's worth 8 marks already. So don't study all of it, at least two, left to right hand side.